Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today I want to talk about something that's a little off on a tangent from a video that I did a while ago, and that was one about how you can't read other people's minds. This one is more you can't read your own emotions, and it's a thing called affective forecasting or hedonistic forecasting, and it's the where we try to predict our own emotions in the future. In terms of whether or not we would want a thing and how we think we'd feel and for how long and all that kind of stuff. And this is measured by psychologists as well as people like economists and marketing people, because obviously this plays into things like preferences, decisions, behaviors, and all of that jazz. But why did I want to talk about it? Well, because emotions play such a big part of what I do. As much as I'm always talking about evidence and facts and focusing on those things and ignoring and like limiting your emotions and stuff like that, it's something that you can't avoid. You feel the way you feel, and often, trying to guess how you'll feel in the future then informs what we do in the present to on our way towards that thing. It's something also that we're maybe not the best at. And for instance, we are. This breaks down into a few different elements. Like, we're quite good at guessing whether or not we'll just be happy or sad, kind of thing, around a situation, and that's probably a good thing. Knowing that going and having a good meal with your girlfriend after a shit day at work, doing that will make you happy. Well, great. That means that you're more likely to go and do it as part of a survival mechanism. You are going to go feed yourself, you are going to go spend time with a significant other, and you are going to go and relax after a very stressful and taxing situation. That allows your body to go, yes, we want that, please. And you go, yes, that's a good thing. That will actually make me happy. That will improve my food, improve my feelings. I mean, hopefully it'll be good food too. But then that will draw you towards that. That informs your decision, the way that you act, and how you're going to kind of best put all of this stuff together in your head to get from where you are in the present to, at the end of the day, going and doing that thing. Now, the things that stand out though is that yes, we can choose kind of whether or not we are, we know, well, not choose, but we can guess quite well whether or not we're going to like a thing or dislike a thing, which again makes sense. But where we tend to kind of lack is predicting the intensity and the duration of kind of those emotions. People go, especially when the big thing that stands out to me about this is relationships. Guys a lot of the time will be like, yeah, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. Long relationships ends, and they'll usually brush it off. And as has been shown, guys in the short term usually don't suffer as much as women do in the short term, but they suffer so much longer in the long term. Yeah, guys have this long duration, mid intensity kind of bad feeling after a breakup that meant something to them, whilst women, you go and ask a lot of women and they are much more emotionally focused, and as a result they go, oh well, I'm going to feel terrible for ages and all that kind of thing. And again, we're talking averages and kind of statistical norms here, rather than kind of broad sweeping statements for absolutely everybody, because there are some people that aren't like this. But then when you look at the numbers again, you see women have this big, high intensity, low duration kind of flash of negative emotions after the breakup, and then it's gone, and they recover much faster, and they get on with their lives much more effectively. And there are various evolution based reasons why that's the case. A male partner that has failed in the relationship that he's been in is now more inclined to, as part of the greater group, write himself out to keep the situation for everyone else better until he finds a way to reestablish himself. A woman, though, is as part of the community, the place where all of the future generations are going to come from, in which case having her recover much more quickly makes more sense on that kind of scale. But again, people don't guess those correctly because a lot of the intensity and duration stuff isn't learned. Like, unless you are coming across an identical situation every time, we can learn if something is going to make us feel good or bad by association or by theme or whatever else. But we can't guess the intensity and the duration of those things. We can't really deal with the impact and sum it up fully. And that can be detrimental. You can plan out some stuff whereby you think something at work is going to make you very happy, and then it goes bad, and so you feel terrible to begin with, but then you assume you've predicted that if something goes bad, you'll be fine, you'll just walk it off. And then you find that it sits and it lingers and it eats at you, and it then causes further behavioral changes and other impacts, and it can ruin your life. So what do we do about this? Well, the thing to do, and this is where we try and take some emotion out of this, is you can know whether or not something is... We are quite good, not perfect, but quite good in terms of accuracy, of going, I will enjoy this, or I will not enjoy this. Sum it up like that. And then it's the duration and the intensity of those feelings that we suck at guessing. In which case, the thing to do, rather than go, oh, I'm going to love that, I'm going to go right for it and all the rest of it, plan. Actually work out where the things you want are, the things that could go wrong with that, and come up with ways to fix those problems, overcome those obstacles, and so on and so forth as you go. This is a big part of coaching, by the way, taking out this lack of ability to predict the intensity and duration of emotions. We'll go, how will the end goal make you feel? And it'll be a kind of good or a bad or a this, that, and the other, and we get you to visualize it. We get you to try and make it as solid for you as possible. We don't talk about duration so much. We tend to talk about in that moment when you have achieved, because that moment is a small enough amount of time that the duration and the intensity don't matter so much. It's just that good or bad. Then, though, moving on to the rest of the process after we've got that thing that you want, it's all talking about the realism of the situation. Can you actually achieve this? What options do you have to make sure that you do achieve this? If something goes wrong, what then can you do to make sure that doesn't impact anything else? And then how are we going to agree to proceed with what plans? All of the rest of the coaching process, after dealing with the initial what do you want and how much do you want it, all comes down to making sure that this effective forecasting is minimized. Because you don't have to worry about how you'll feel. You already know what you'll feel in the moment of achieving that thing. Everything else afterwards is literally a case of going, right, when something comes up that could negatively impact that thing, stop you from getting to that one moment, what can we do about it to make sure that it doesn't stop you? Now that's incredibly powerful. Yeah, it pulls that emotion out and it stops it from going anywhere you can't control. As said, we suck at predicting this. Yeah, you could think that you feel like $1 million for the rest of your life, and you feel good for a couple of days, and then it kind of goes back down to normal, and then something else happens and it falls off, and you like that thing that was initially a positive that really you thought was going to last forever because it was just so great, Well, no, every time you achieve something, that new thing becomes the new norm. That's the whole point of continuing to plan, continuing to push, continuing to progress. And so, it's important to to get that done and to keep that in mind, because otherwise you're just going to run again and again and again into situations that slow you down or that pull you back down after you've had that positive moment before. And that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about this today, because we're good at going, I like that or I don't like that. But we're not good at saying how much we will or for how long we will. That's why so many people find that they go, oh, well, I got my dream job. And then they found that it was really unfulfilling. Oh, I did this thing that I really wanted to do. Oh, and now I've done it. It's that emptiness afterwards. And the way to deal with that isn't by investing more emotion into it. It isn't by trying to guess better. It's by planning out things that you can do instead. Making sure that you know what your next goal is, where you're going afterwards, how you want to get there. All of those other things that we mentioned a moment ago in regards to making sure that it's realistic, or making sure that you've got the opportunities and the things to do so, making sure that you've planned around all the potential pitfalls, and then getting out the other end. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you come across this before as an idea, that we suck at predicting the big, like, important parts of our own emotions, or we can tell is the good or the bad? Yeah, how have you found yourself in your life going, oh, that's going to be amazing, I'm going to love that forever, and then it falls to pieces, especially in relationships, because that's the place where all the emotions go for us. Yeah, we can remove ourselves from emotions in work and in school and in all the other things that we do, but that kind of romantic relationship is where all of it gets just dropped. It's like a bucket that just fills up with all of our emotions until it overflows, and it's that overflowing part that we are really, really bad at kind of guessing whether or not that would just be a quick splash, or whether it will be like a continuous deluge from this tiny bucket that we just can't explain. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your stories that relate to this. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video later. Take care.